Hey guys, this is StarCraft. If you've seen my Twitter account, you know my real name is Robert Willing. I am a Michigan-born, bred, and raised, and still living in Boy. Okay, that came out kind of weird, but I'm going to try and keep this off the cuff. Moving on. I should have done this when I did my review, or before I did my review, but I wasn't even sure I'd be able to post my review. A lot of times I've started attempts at projects and never got anywhere, so I didn't want to do an intro that never went with a final product. But, as many of you already know, at least I hope many of you know, I finally got my very first review out the door. So I figured I'd explain myself a bit more. I love comic books, video games, cartoons, TV, movies, animes, yada yada yada. As I said in my review, I am into so much stuff. Obscure, mainstream. If I'm not, I either don't know about it, or it never caught my interest to begin with. If it's the former, I do intend to check it out, or if you have any suggestions, throw them my way. I started off my interest with Marvel with the cartoons back in the day. The X-Men anime series and Spider-Man anime series especially. But around the same time growing up, I had a great uncle. I don't remember his name, I just know that he was on my mom's side and he apparently owned a comic book store. Never been there myself, but my grandma, again on my mom's side, had some of those books. And every time I would visit, I'd go to her room where there was a box of them, and in there, I definitely remember at least a few issues of the World Without a Superman era run during the 90s. After Superman's death, but before his big return. I don't remember specifically the issues, but I always read through them constantly. That's what helped get my interest. There was also, I think, an issue of Kickers Incorporated from Marvel, but I didn't really ever flip through that. One of the first comics I actually got was actually the Death's World Without and Return of Superman trade. In fact, my grandmother bought me those because of my interest in those books in her room so much. And after that, I was hooked. I got a Venom trade paperback for Lethal Protector. I still have it. It's mostly in tatters. Most of the story's there, but a few pages have been ripped out. What are you going to do? I buy to read and love. And many comic pros have actually laughed about that whenever I brought them in. In fact, I always wonder what would happen if David Michelini or Ron Lim saw my Venom trade. Would they sign it and laugh? Or would they say, bring me something better, kid? Who knows? As far as DC, though, that's my main bread and butter. I love DC especially. Again, I enjoy Marvel. Don't get me wrong. But DC's the one I've always kept up with. A lot of it was because of Superman. In fact, Superman, he's my boy. Hey, as the saying goes, I just love the Man of Steel. Love him so much. In fact, he's where I get a lot of my inspiration viewpoints from. I'll get to that later. And I still keep up with DC more times than not. In fact, I still buy almost $50 to $60 a week on comic books alone on average. One way or the other. And it's almost always DC. In fact, the only Marvel book I am buying on a regular basis lately is the Runaways run, which I highly recommend if you're a longtime Runaways fan, and I love those books. But other than that, I really have picky. I'm really picky and choosy about what I get from Marvel. Marvel. I have to admit, and this is me being very blunt, and if you take offense, I don't mean offense. I gotta talk about Comicsgate for a moment. I am not Comicsgate. I have never been Comicsgate. I don't think I ever will be Comicsgate, but I do share a lot of the viewpoints. What keeps me away is a lot of the tactics or statements people, especially the bigger names, have made over the years. Or not years, the months, sorry. And it just puts me off, and I just don't want to be associated with any of that. But I still believe in the viewpoints that, for example, Marvel has gone a bit off the rails with a lot of their stuff. And by off the rails, I mean political, shoving down your throat, all that stuff. I don't know. It just feels like they don't want to listen they're stuck in their viewpoints, they're being political, all that stuff. And it just disappoints me. So I will defend the viewpoints of Comicsgate, and I will defend a lot of individuals. I've made a lot of friends within Comicsgate, none of the big names. And seriously, if anyone hearing this who's against Comicsgate tries to associate me with someone like DNC or whatnot, don't. I've made my viewpoints on him, but I do not say that that makes me go against anyone in Comicsgate that I consider a good friend. And again, those are usually the lesser ones who don't fall into the categories people lob at them. Same time, I still did support Jawbreakers and Ironsides, although that one I saw was meh. Not bad, but meh. And I still have done put in contributions to Cyberfrog and a bunch of other Indiegogo books. I do like these books that are being proposed. That's what's getting my interest. Easton Van Sciver has kind of earned it as far as I've loved his artwork since Green Lantern, Flash Rebirth, all of that stuff. And thus, he's earned my money as far as his work. How would some of his actions have been? Hit and miss, I will admit. But that's where I stand on Comicsgate in that regard. And as far as other areas, I love, like I said, love video games, but I'm a single player type of guy. If it's something that's only multiplayer only, or a massive multiplayer online game, anything like that, I have no interest in. Or if it's a multiplayer campaign, Titanfall 1, I never bought, have no interest in buying, even though I have Origin Accents, I have no interest in downloading it, since I can play for the full game. Because the thing you got to understand about me is, I love story. I love lore. That's what I'm into. That's what I'm into. That's when I'm always having my passion, my interest. I'm always getting ideas in my head. I'm always trying to piece together stuff, find explanations, although I'm not so obsessed enough to the point where, oh, it doesn't match my headcanon, or that's not the sequel I would have done. Nothing like that. Hell, I'll be honest. I kind of predicted the ending of the Matrix trilogy after seeing The Matrix Reloaded before Revolutions came out. That's the kind of mind I have, and I also really love Grant Morrison's work, and a lot of times I can actually make sense out of all that when I've seen so many people be like, what? I didn't understand that. Oh, this sucks because it's too convoluted and confusing. For me, it makes perfect sense. As far as other things I'm into, I used to be big at watching a lot of the web creators. I had a lot of podcasts I would listen to over the years, but the only ones I stick to lately as far as internet reviewers, some former Channel Awesome, are Nostalgia Critic, Linkara from Atop the Fourth Wall, and the Angry Video Game Nerd, with Angry Joe on occasions when he posts a review. But those three I still appreciate. Even though one of them in particular still seems to be open about his politics, he doesn't let it get to him at all. Well, I shouldn't say it doesn't get to him. I should more say he doesn't parade about it as much as others have done, which really puts me off. As far as podcasts, I used to love listening to them all the time, but once again, politics has kind of ruined a lot of them, to the point where I used to dream about doing a podcast before doing these reviews, but now I really can't anymore because of certain individuals, or I should say the majority of comic book podcasting individuals have formed a bit of a group where if you just have a certain political view, they will blackball you, prevent you from doing anything, so I've been told. And even if there's an off chance that that's not true, I'd rather not risk it and get disappointed. So that's why I'm doing these videos. And as far as doing full productions, I really don't have the time to do all that. I already do and work a full-time job, and just doing these little things while on my phone is something that I can just get done, get out the gate, and move on to the next. So, yeah, this was, like I said, an off-the-cuff thing, and you can probably tell from my flub-ups, I'm just going to be posting this raw. What's wrong with that? I think it kind of gives a different spin on things. And, well, that's basically it for right now. If you have any other questions, put them down in the comments. DM me on Twitter at StarredCraft, and like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you later, and see you on the next talk from the Multiverse, which I should also clarify is where I'm going to be doing these general discussions as opposed to specific reviews. Don't know what I'll do next in this topic, but be ready for my next video as well that should be coming out shortly. Rants from the Multiverse, because, oh boy, I got something I got to let loose about. See ya!